Hey there, and welcome back to Storytime with Brianda, where your story is told through me. You send it and I tell it. Grab your popcorn because this is going to be a good one. My best friend of 17 years betrayed me by texting my boyfriend behind my back. Not only texting, worse. This story is being sent from Bakersfield, California, and shout out to the sender. Just a disclaimer, I will be changing up the names to avoid exposing the sender and the people involved. In this story, my name is Brenda, and I've lived in Bakersfield throughout my whole life and was raised by my mom, who was a single parent. Although my mom was a single parent, she always gave it her all to give me the best that she could, and I will forever be grateful for that. My mother had a best friend who was also a single parent, raising her daughter named Jessica. My mom and her best friend were very close, and they helped each other raise Jessica and I, which also naturally meant that Jessica and I were the best of friends. We basically grew up together like family. We went to the same school, had the same group of friends, participated in the same activities, sleepovers, literally everything together. We had so much in common, but we also had different styles and tastes, which included boys. My type of guy was pretty much like the bad boy type, with the tattoos, the piercings, and her type was more of the athletic type, the sporty, you could say, so completely different styles. Anyway, so one day, one of our classmates was throwing a big birthday party for herself, and everybody at the school was invited, so obviously we were not going to miss out. We went shopping to buy the best outfits and the shoes and be ready for this big party that we were super duper looking forward to. The day of the party was finally here and we were so excited. We made sure our outfits were on point, our hair, our makeup, everything, because we knew that the whole school was going to be there and other people as well. Literally, as soon as we got there, this guy got my attention instantly. He was my dream guy. He had tattoos, piercings, a nice fade, a nice outfit. Literally my dream guy. He was standing near the refreshments, so I decided to shoot my shot. I started walking towards him, locked eyes, smiled, and luckily he smiled back too. I said hi to him and asked him what refreshment he recommended as an excuse to start up a conversation. Luckily, it worked. We ended up dancing and talking all night long. We had the best time ever. At the end of the night, my mom came to pick up Jessica and I from the party, so I quickly exchanged numbers with him. As soon as I got home, I received a text message from him asking if I made it home safe. He also told me that he had the best night ever at the party because he met me. And oh my gosh, I was over the moon because that meant that he was interested in me as much as I was interested in him. The next day, I went over to Jessica's house and told her all about this new guy I met. By the way, his name is Max. And she was super happy for me because she knew that this meant that I could potentially have a boyfriend. The days turned into weeks, the weeks turned into months, and Max and I were talking and texting often. He was from the neighboring town, so that meant that we saw each other pretty often. We went on dates. He always had flowers for me or chocolates. He was so sweet, and I loved the way he was treating me. Eventually, he asked me to be his girlfriend, and of course I said yes. It felt like I hit the jackpot with Max. Everything was going great. He met my mom, he met Jessica, he met Jessica's mom, because they were very important people to me, and it meant a lot to me that they met each other. They loved Max for me because they knew that he treated me like a princess, and they loved that for me. I always talked to Jessica about my relationship with Max, the good and the bad, because like all relationships, we sometimes had disagreements, but nothing major that we couldn't fix then and there. As time passed by, I noticed that Jessica became very distant with me. She always made excuses to not hang out, or she never had time to text or talk, or have sleepovers. It was very odd because she had never acted this way before. It felt like she was pushing me away. I also noticed that Max became very distant with me as well. He wasn't calling me or texting me as often anymore, and he always had an excuse to not hang out, which was very odd of him to do that. I didn't put two and two together because why would that even cross my mind, She was my best friend, and I don't think she would ever do anything to hurt me. And with Max, well, I just figured that maybe I was just overthinking and overreacting, and maybe he was just busy with school. One day, we got invited to another party, and Max, Jessica, and I went together. Everything was going great, but I did notice that Jessica was being a little bit distant with me, and I also noticed that Max wasn't being as affectionate as he usually was. I tried to brush it off because I didn't want to ruin the vibe. We were there to party and have a good time. It was starting to get late, so the DJ started packing up his equipment, which meant that the party was over. Everybody at the party was still having a great time, and we didn't want the party to end. So the birthday girl took out this huge speaker and asked if anybody wanted to volunteer to connect their phone via Bluetooth so that we could have some jams to vibe to. Surprisingly, Max volunteered to connect his phone via Bluetooth to the speaker. We were all having a good time, dancing, laughing, joking, and then all of a sudden, I noticed that Max took out his phone from his pocket and received a text message. I guess more like an audio message. He said, "I'll be right back," and walked away from the party. The audio said, "I can't believe she hasn't found out that we've been sleeping together for the past 4 months. I can't wait for you guys to break up so you can finally be just mine." And to my surprise, it was Jessica's voice that was saying that. And literally the whole entire party found out that she was a backstabbing friend. That night, Jessica's mom was supposed to pick us up from the party because it was her turn. But I called my mom and told her to pick me up as soon as she could because I didn't want to be there anymore. I was so embarrassed and ashamed, and I didn't feel comfortable being there. So luckily my mom picked me up right away. She was there probably like 5 minutes after I called her because the party wasn't that far from our home. Max was blowing up my phone that night, but I did not answer the phone calls, the text messages, nothing, and I blocked him right away from all my social medias and from my phone because I didn't want to be with him anymore. Next day, I confronted Jessica and asked her, "What the heck? Like, we're best friends. How could you do that to me?" And she was saying that she felt like I always had everything, that I had the best life. And I was like super shocked because we literally lived the same life. We were both raised by single moms. We were like sisters. And I had no idea that she felt this way towards me throughout our whole life. We got into a huge argument that also bled into our moms trying to defend us. And it got really messy. Jessica said that she was not going to back down and that she was going to stay with Max because now that we were no longer together, she was free to be with him. I was really, really sad because it felt like my heart was broken into a million pieces. Not only by Max, but by my best friend. Guys come and go, but I never thought that Jessica would do this to me because she was like my sister, my best friend. We literally grew up together. So it hurt really, really bad. But for my own peace and sanity, I decided to no longer be friends with her because I couldn't trust her anymore. What she did was really, really bad. And what sucks about this is that our moms were no longer friends either. So that really, really sucked. Fast forward 2 months later, I found out through mutual friends that Max cheated on her with somebody else. It's true what they say, the way you get them is the way you lose them. After that, Jessica tried reaching out and tried to get my friendship back and try to apologize, but I just couldn't trust her anymore. And she only tried to reach out to me because she got cheated on. So I felt like it wasn't sincere and I felt like I didn't deserve it because I did nothing but be the best of friends to her. And she did me dirty. It's been about a year since this happened, and now I'm in a very happy and healthy relationship with somebody else. So now my question is, should I reconsider being friends with Jessica again since it's been a year and I miss her, to be honest. Even though she backstabbed me, I miss her dearly, but I also don't want to bring that into my life again. Would you forgive her or would you just move on? Personally, my advice to you, Brenda, is no. A friend would never do that to you, and it sounds like you're being a really truthful and honest friend with her, and you didn't deserve that, so I wouldn't be her friend anymore, and I would just keep my peace and just move on. But what do you guys think? Please leave her some advice in the comments below. Thank you for watching today's story. If you would like to share yours, please send it to my email. You send it, and I tell it. This was Storytime with Brianda, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on the next story time.